Welcome back to the RaidzBank podcast. My name is Hoyt, and I'm joined here by Mr. Poplo. How are you, sir?
Hello, doing well.
Good. Heartless is not with us this week. I'm sure he'll be back around, don't worry. Just taking care of real-life stuff and scheduling conflicts. We have a lot to talk about today, though. We have the Raids 4 rewards. We have just some other random blog updates. I got GE improvements, new Truver system, just everything everywhere all at once. So we're not going to waste too much time. We're going to go straight to the point, and I'm sure everyone just wants to hear about our opinions on the rewards. But at the same time, every other content creator is talking about them, so maybe they don't mind the little stuff. So before we get into that,
we've got other stuff that this is not going to be little stuff, man. We're going to have a packed episode of everything else.
True.
We've got some spicy drama. We got
Marni drama. We got Marni-gate, but Marni-gate.
Ooh, all right.
And I'm excited to talk about that. What have you been up to, Poplo?
All right. Well, my week this week, I'm going to be honest, has been a lot of mobile scape. So just a lot of gemstone crab. But big IRL update for you guys. Okay. So I'm playing on a little bit of a limited setup here. I've only got one monitor plugged in and very limited stuff on my desk because last week on Sunday, my wife and I went to the animal shelter and we got a cat, and it's been living in our office. So
nice.
Yeah, all you cat lovers out there. We have been thinking about getting one for a while, and there was a cat that we had our eyes on, like our hearts set on it. It didn't end up working out, so we checked out a different shelter, and pretty much right when we walked in, this cat came up to us and was just like super friendly, basically picked us out. And everyone working at the shelter was just like, what is happening? She never does this. Like, this is so weird. She's like so shy. And then we ended up getting her. We named her Mavis, which I just think is a cute name. She's like a kind of tortoise shell, kind of orange, black, gray mix. Yeah. And she's got the biggest green eyes ever. She's so cute. So, yeah, that's kind of been what we've been doing this week. They say that you're supposed to keep the cat in like a contained space in like one room or something just for a couple days while you get it, so that it can't like hide from you that much, because obviously it's like terrified of like new environment, new sounds, new people, new smells, everything like that. But also you like need it to like get used to you, like you need it to interact with you, because otherwise it's just gonna like permanently hide under the couch. It's never going to get used to you. It's going to think everything is really scary. So yeah, we've kept her in the office, and she's found a couple places that she thinks is like a hiding spot. But like we could just, I could just reach behind the monitor and pick her up, even though she thinks she's hiding. So that's been super fun, super sweet. And I think we're going to let her out tonight to kind of explore the apartment. So we'll see how that goes. But
nice.
Yeah, I think that's mostly what we've been up to this week. So I haven't been able to use my whole desk. I haven't even hardly turned the computer on, because actually the place that she likes to hide is like on top of the computer tower, because it's like under the desk. There's like a little shelf kind of that she hides on. Yeah. So anyways, this is the first time that I've actually turned the PC on while she's in here. So if she bumps into the mic or something, maybe we'll have her come and meow or something over here. She does, but
you know you're gonna have to pay the cat tax now on the Discord.
Not the cat tax.
Yep, and you need to see a picture of Mavis. So.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely post a picture of her. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
pets. Is this your first and only pet?
Yes, this is together? Like with my wife. Yes, I grew up with like dogs and cats both, and so I like both. I had a dog he lived a good long 12 years, and we've had cats ever since I was little. So it's like we want to get a dog someday, but we're just in an apartment right now, and there's not a ton of room, like not a yard or anything. So we just kind of feel bad keeping it inside all the time, and Then if we ever had to go out of town or something, you got to find someone to watch it. But cats are super independent, so it makes it really easy.
One of those neighbors where the dog just barks all day while you're gone. You don't even know.
Oh, yeah. No, we have those. So, yeah.
The worst is like, I'll see. I'm sorry if this is any of our listeners. I don't know if I'm sorry, but I'm ragging on you a little bit. But the dogs that just sit on the tiny deck outside barking at everyone walking by, and they're stuck in there. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
That big-ass dog, too. I'm like,
Yeah, they never get to go on walks. They're just stuck inside. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's none of my business. So,
anyways, yeah, that's kind of mostly what we've been up to. What
nice,
have you been
dude. Congrats.
This week? Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome. It's only been a handful of days since we last recorded, but I mean, we are a weekly show, so not a lot. Life is so busy, and I'm going to Chicago. We are pre-recording this because I have like a 6-hour drive. I didn't want to drive back from Chicago, which, let's be real, we're going to be partying a little bit, so I'm not going to, my body won't feel the best. And then drive, and then record, and then edit after we record. So, Poplo is nice enough to help me record early. So yeah, trying to like take care of everything IRL with errands before I go to Chicago. And then I'm getting married in 2 months, so trying to like help out where I can before I go out and go leave her here to sort all that out while I'm just drinking with the boys, looking at RuneScape and shit. But that's okay.
It's the RaidzBank bachelor party. That's what you're going to.
That was always like kind of a plan, but it's not about me. It's about Dead Man and meeting the Discord homies. So super excited. So sorry, everyone, you have to wait just 1 week for an update of the experience. Maybe I'll bring like my mic, but my fiance will have the laptop, so I don't know if I'll be able to like. I thought maybe I'd like interview like people and like what'd you think? I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder how bad it would be to just voice record on your phone. Like, would that just be completely?
Well, we had
terrible?
The AirPods episode.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And everyone survived. Everyone who's here is still here. So
it all depends on what you listen to. If you just listen to through your phone speaker, you can't tell. If you put like nice headphones on, you're like, I can't listen to this. It's horrible. So it depends. But to answer the question with RuneScape, I got my final master clue box, so I can now stack 5. Nice. There's only 75 masters. It caught me by surprise. I guess I just haven't done a lot of masters. I don't know. 75 isn't. I don't know. Depends on who you are.
I don't think a lot.
But
of
I was
people
surprised to see
masters.
It. Yeah, I've actually stopped trading them in because I do want more clogs overall instead of just the bloodhound. So doing my elites would be good, even though elites are like just getting kicked in the nuts for 30 minutes. But but besides that, I got some random clogs from doing some clues. I got 2 million sailing XP because I've been on the maxing grind, and sailing is busted, 75k an hour. You did it when it came out, just salvaging. So, I've been learning the 2-client blast furnace gold method, which is the EHP for Ironmen smithing. And all it is Ironmen now have their own blast furnace stock, which you used to have another account sell gold and then you buy it, and I don't do that just because I don't have a ton of liquid gold on my main because I never really played it. But in this method, it's only 2 clients so that you can skip the wait to world hop. As you know, it takes several seconds to actually world hop on 1 client. So by doing 2 clients, log out, log in, you can minimize the downtime, and it changes it from like 275k to 330k. So I've just been like trying to get.
So you have the same
account.
You have the same account just on 2 different clients, and then you just
it's just one's a login screen, and then the other one, and you like set up the next world because you can only get 100 divided by 28, and you get 4 inventories or 3, and then you hop.
Okay.
But you have to be on a blast furnace world because the blast furnace has to be running.
Right.
So you can't just world hop, 301 to 600. So thankfully, there's a ton of blast furnace worlds. So
Yeah.
It's not really an issue. But just been trying that out. I was doing it the really slow way, and I was like kind of wondering if something was off. I was literally just buying gold half the time and then smithing gold the other half.
Oh yeah, putting it in the bank.
That's
banking
it's
it
so
and then
inefficient.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
It's so bad. I just thought that was life. I just thought that was it. So yeah, don't do that.
No, so the method is you just do it like normal blast furnace, but you have your stack of coins with you. And so you hit up the dude, you trade him on the way to the blast furnace, buy an inventory, and then put it in the blast furnace, grab the bars, bank them, and then instead of withdrawing more ore from your bank, then you run back to the guy and buy more, and then just repeat.
The weird thing I noticed was DKO has this method on YouTube that I was kind of copying it from. He wasn't switching gauntlets. He was never equipping ice gauntlets. And I was so confused. Yes.
If you're 99, then the
smithing cape.
It counts as either the gold or the ice. I don't remember which one, but the cape.
Yeah,
gives you the perk.
He was like 190 mil XP, so he was
okay. Yeah,
he was cooking.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to switch if you have 99.
That's busted. Thank you. I was so confused because he had his plugin said he had 300 coal in there and 3 gold bars, and I was like, maybe if you max out the blast furnace, it'll just delete the bars.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
what's the tech?
Yeah, I was trying to really look in there, but it turns out it's just the cape, which is obvious. Okay. Well, now we know.
There you go.
So -1 inventory, -1 quality life, but
yeah, for getting 99 and then never doing smithing again. Well, for most people,
never till they fix it. Yeah, I did Green Log Giants Foundry, so I ain't getting any more XP. I don't like that.
Why am I not surprised by that?
Yeah.
You're a beast.
That's me. Yeah, so that's it for me. Moving on. We are really trying to hit 500 subscribers on YouTube. We only have like 300. We've got like a lot more on Spotify and other places. So please drop us a sub at RaidzBank, all one word with an S. If you're listening on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button to help us out a lot. Also, make sure you join our Discord, find out about upcoming events. And if you're already in our Discord, you might want to peek in there and see, make sure you're up to date on everything. You can join our in-game clan if you're over 1800 total level. It is RaidzBank with a Z, RaidzBank. Just ask a mod or whoever's in there to send you an invite. And finally, join our Patreon to support the show for as little as $3 a month. If that's not your thing, listen to a quick word from our sponsors. All right, welcome back. Thank you for listening to those or just skipping through. First up, I want to, get some baggage off out there. It's been weighing on me heavily mentally. The Marni situation. So,
oh boy.
Yeah, I got some notes written down here just so we can clarify anyone who's not familiar. This is pretty breaking news, and hopefully it's not too out of date. We did just get some more updates today, but who's Marni? Or why does this matter? So Marni broke the day and week record for sailing with some new tech that uses alt accounts and the new port task system. So those who don't know, the new port tasks, they used to be like random Slayer tasks. You'd have to get lucky to get the same task in a row, or it would do 3 in a row and you'd have to look elsewhere. Well, now each port has a dedicated task. So there's a specific port that will just always give you the Great White Shark task. So he was collecting this port task and then getting some very partial kill credit on these mobs his alts was attacking. And just because he had 8 different alts and he was tagging the mob, he got the drop really quickly, like the shark jaw or fin or whatever, and he was able to turn it in for a ton of XP, come right back. Spam repeating this. So he uploaded a 6-hour play session of him getting 6.5 million XP with this method.
Holy, over a mil an hour.
Yeah. It was disgusting. Is that correct? Holy crap. 6.5 mil. No, it's 3.5 mil. I knew that wasn't right.
Oh.
I take that back.
Still.
The 6-hour record, maybe that's where it came from, was 3.5 mil. So.
Jeez.
Okay, not 6.5 mil. 3.5 mil, still crazy.
Still
over a quarter to 99 and 1 log in, log out. Those who don't know who's Marni, he has rank 1 collections logged for the third age, time to complete third age. He's rank 3 for non-third age, just gilded, and he's rank 2 for overall clogs, just the number. However, he was rank 1 for a super long time. So
yeah,
he was
just recently dethroned.
Yeah, by shout out to Basiligus, awesome YouTube. Love that guy. Marni has 3.6 billion XP. He has 7,500 EHP and 7,000 EHB. So, dude's got over 14,500 efficient hours played. So, multiply that by at least 2 for the real hours. Nonetheless, he has a lot invested in this account. And because he broke the day and week record, he flagged Jagix's attention. That's at least my belief. They say that they had just caught him and a few others using this software or whatever. Long story short, they temp banned him and all of his accounts because Aiza said that it was impossible that somebody could click 8 clients within 1 second in the same place, which sounds fishy. However, right after that, people published on YouTube, unbanned Marni. Here's proof of what he did. Also, Marni uploaded his entire footage. You can see them attacking at different times. So it wasn't some mirroring plugin. It was a plugin called Click to Minimize, which when you left clicked on your client, it would minimize it, which is a Windows command, not a RuneScape command. And then the next client would be right behind it, and you can click the same pixel because you don't have to move your mouse. It would, just click 8 times. You've now clicked 8 accounts in the same spot. So, of course, this just brings up a very big conversation of the RuneLite plugin hub is approved by RuneLite developers. They took responsibility for approving this when they shouldn't have, but you can't rely and blame volunteers who, it's unreasonable to think that, nothing will ever get through. Jagex doesn't want to ban RuneLite or plugins because players would revolt. So Marni's defense is he went through the correct paths to use approved software to play the game, but because it was too powerful, he was banned. And the big thing for me is when you get temp banned, yeah, it sucks to not play for 2 weeks. I don't know how long his temp ban was. But let's say a week or 2. That sucks.
I think it was only 2 days.
2 days, yeah, 48 hours.
2 or 3 days, yeah.
Play another game, take a break. But what really hurts is this is a big black mark on your account. So next time, if 10 years from now he ever has another problem, there's a high potential that's really used against him for a permanent ban. They kind of have this zero tolerance policy. So I've said a lot here. I'm probably missing some things, but Poplo, I'll let you. What do you think of this? Do you take Marni's side? You take Aiza's?
Do you want Poplo's take, or do you want what I think is Heartless's take?
Dealer's choice.
Oh, you should ban him. Rat behavior. Absolutely atrocious, scummy rat. He deserved it.
I can't believe Heartless was able to make the call here.
He is on the podcast after all. Dude. Okay. I do have a couple thoughts because here's the deal. I'll give a little leak as well into some tech. This is getting into Poplo's opinion plus dark technology. So buckle up here. There is a method that I have been somewhat utilizing that also uses click to minimize for red chinchompas. And you can find it on Reddit, on YouTube. It's there. You can just go look it up. But basically, it works the same way. There's a plugin. It's called click to minimize. Whenever you do the action, then your plugin or your client will just minimize. And then in the RuneLite notifications setting, there is a setting that you can turn on to demand attention on like idle or like idle movement or idle animation, whatever you want to do.
Request focus or whatever, force focus. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically what you do is you just set up your camera so it's like horizontal to the ground, and you put your box traps down. And then whenever you click on a box trap, you just have it minimize your client. And then as soon as your animation is done, then the RuneLite notifications plugin will bring your client back into where it was, back into position. And then you don't even have to click. You can foot pedal this like red chinchompas, basically. So there are methods out there that use the same thing. And honestly, it does feel a little bit scummy. Like this also, the difference between these methods that I feel like is the one that Marni is doing is like actively breaking 6-hour records. And this is the same way that Rendy got caught with like the Slayer thing. It's just like, dude, just like, I don't know, do it for 4 hours and then go touch grass or something for 2, or just log out and then like do it again. And don't break the records, don't flag anything. I don't know if he was trying to prove a point or something, but it kind of just feels like this is a little bit of a gray area that you were edging into in the first place. And the difference with the red chin method is that like it's atrocious chins per hour. Like it is not good compared to like the max efficiency. Yeah. The only good thing is that I can set it up on my laptop on the side. I could play another account and I could just foot pedal it. And it's super slow, but it works. So I'm not breaking any records with it. That being said, you know, I think there's a lot of parallels between the two methods, including like the use of plugins and all that. And I do think that if he was really just using RuneLite plugins, as much as I feel like it's not a popular opinion, I feel like there should just be some changes in the RuneLite plugins instead of like a ban. They're just so quick to ban people right off the bat instead of like, hey, I know you can do this, but you're not really supposed to. I think that the ban comes when you like start breaking records when it is not supposed to be that way. And so whose side am I on? I think I'm on Aiza's side. Like, damn. Yes, it did ultimately break a 6-hour record using like plugins and stuff, but also there's been TOB records that have been broken by using like broken plugins that have been taken off the plugin hub. So it's the normal inconsistency of Jagex. So I understand his frustration, but that has also kind of been their sentiment, their kind of ground rules recently is ban first, ask questions later. And if you're trying to use these or be a little scummy to break records, then you're probably going to cop a ban for it. So that's where I think that I'm probably on Aiza's side, even though it sucks because I mean I'm a big fan of Marni, but I don't know why he was even doing this in the first place. If he was trying to go for a collection log there or something, but he should just get back to clues, man. He's clue locked anyways, so. All right. Anything else you want to add before I go on my long tangent, in my opinion? No, I think that's it. I think just to summarize, because that was kind of a lot, is like, I think that using plugins like that is great, But if you know that you're breaking records and you know that you're like setting a new standard, like with this quote unquote new method, it's not really a new method. It's just like, and you just utilize new plugins. You're not doing anything different, like outside of like emergent gameplay. Then I think you're just going to have to take the risk that you might cop a ban. So right, floor is yours.
Couple things. As far as the record's concerned, I do think there's a difference that this is a Temple OSRS or a Crystal Math Labs or a Wise Old Man record. Jagex does not track these records. So it is a third-party record. Jagex provides an API for them to pull from, whatever. But with the Rendy situation, Jagex has a Skiller high scores for Slayer on their, RuneScape.com. So that, okay. I understood that argument, like they need to protect their own website, like the integrity.
The official high scores, the official RuneScape integrity.
And let's be real, Temple is as official as RuneLight or anyone else who's a third-party developer. But it's Jagex. I think they should leave that up to Temple. I think it would be valid for Temple to make a post and say, hey, yes, Marni broke these records. However, we think for the integrity of our scoreboards, and Marni might even agree that, we're choosing to nullify this record or cross it out, put an asterisk.
They've done that before.
Yeah. And I think that's up to Temple for them and their moderation team. And they do it before, or they've done it before, and whatever. Moving past
it happened to one of our friends. It happened to who?
Really?
Going for Sarah Dahlman record. It was a PDM record, but I think it happened to him because he had when he was going for the pet, then he saved up a ton of KC, and it was for Ironman specifically, and they didn't think that he was doing it legitimately. But he was able to keep the record because he had saved a screenshot of his whole loot tracker that lined up exactly with the loot tracker and the boss timer that lined up exactly with how many kills the record was. And so they actually, I think, still gave it to him. But it was one of those things where they made the decision because they thought that he was doing something scummy and getting over EHB, when really he had just saved up like tons of essence from doing it for so long. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
So that's a good point. People are saying, well, why did Marni record it? Marni recorded it because the top 3 records on Temple have to have video evidence. So Marni was going for the record. He prepared for this. He geared 8 accounts, trained sailing on 8 accounts, or 7, or whatever, and got them on this position. Every Eye of Iac was charged. Every inventory was optimized. It's a ton of work. I mean, we all know the guy puts in work to the game, so I don't need to say that, but it's not like he wasn't trying to. This guy was giga gaming. Super high APM. Go watch the video for yourself. My big issue is, one, do not read the Reddit comments on this. Like my blood pressure is going up just thinking about some of the asinine stuff I read. But
man, what did they say? Are they like Heartless on steroids?
Yes.
Okay.
They're just like, he's always been cheating. That's why he's ranked 1 clog. He just got caught. He thought he wouldn't get caught because he's so high up and high and mighty. And they were just drooling. Like, anyone who's, over 1,800 total, no life, is like ruining their life.
That's everyone in our clan, so careful what you say.
Yeah, Reddit hates you guys. Whatever. I'm not even one to hate on Reddit because, but that 2007 scape Reddit is god awful. But, anyways, my big problem with this was, just like Rendy, this started out as a hunch because he raised suspicion by just kicking ass with the record. He destroyed the records, and it makes total sense that would raise a flag. And probably people in the community are, I mean, they're friends with some Jagex developers that, you know, they communicate with each other. They're probably friends on Discord, and they said, hey, yo, everyone's like really upset. Marni used whatever, smash these records. Something seems wrong. And then
apparently
Aiza,
they have someone who checks them, right? Isn't that what leaked out when Rendi did his thing? Is that they have someone who checks temple records?
That's what they said, but I don't trust them because they're like, they do something once and then they're embarrassed that they do it once. So they're like, well, we have a guy who like does it like once a week, sometimes, kind of like, but he's totally doing it all the time. Like they're like backtracking, and I'm sure they do peek at temple, like this is their game they make, but I don't believe that it's in somebody's like weekly tasks for him to check each temple high score. I think somebody just saw Rendi, right, and they knew he likes to break rules, and they saw him break a record, and they're like, well, clearly he broke a rule, let's see what rule he broke. Same with Marni, but Marni didn't have that reputation. My issue is with the ego that was involved from the start, and Aiza has had this problem. It started out with, like, he's so sure of himself. It started out with he must have used external software, third-party software, to automate his clicks on multi-boxing.
You're saying Aiza's ego.
Aiza's, yeah, his ego is crazy. Yeah. And then he's like, we're absolutely certain of this. We're not reversing this. There's no way anyone could click 8 times in 1 second, which if you've ever clicked a mouse, you know that's like hilarious. Like, yeah, of course you can. But this game's on 0.6, right, ticks, right, 0.6 second ticks, and they design bosses around you moving and changing prayer within a tick. So clearly you can click twice in 0.6, but you can't spam click 1 pixel 8 times in 1 second. Anyways,
yeah, that's a good point.
I'm like it was like the ego of like, I just get like, and someone in authority who like, they've made a decision, no matter what you say, they're going to stick to it, and they're going to tell you that's the way it is, and they must be right. And then as things come out, and the plugin was out, and people were like, hey, here's video of people using the plugin, here's how it happened, like, yeah, the plugin's busted. And he's like, nope, we couldn't replicate it, even though Marni has 6 hours of footage. I don't know. I'm obviously taking Marni's stance. I don't like the steadfast, hard, whatever stance that Aiza took, and he's like, we're never reversing this, whatever. I really, really hate that. It screams like a power trip. And I know his position's really hard, and I mean, we've all had, you know, cases where we're given power and maybe we misstep, and then people are yelling at us and we don't know how to fix it, and I don't know. It's a human thing, but I think what they should do, Temple should take away his record. They should remove the RuneLite plugin, which I believe they already have, or Jagex has told them to, and they're working on it. And if you really must, take away Marni's XP he got with it, roll his XP back, and move on. Like, I don't... This guy is clearly an aspirational Giga gamer. This screams like when Noob Type abused the... But at least Noob Type knew he was doing something objectively wrong. He, as you don't know, he abused an invocation glitch to make it harder on himself, just so he could prove... What was it, 700 TOA or...
Yeah, I think so.
Which is impossible to do without like abusing a bug. And he tanked a ban just to prove that, you know, somebody could do it, and to make a cool video, like absolute hero status. And I'm not saying Marni was doing that, but I'm saying Marni clearly didn't do this to hide it or abuse it. He was going for a record. This guy's an aspirational rank 1 player in his category. He's built different than you, like clicking on stars, picking your nose, and watching Netflix. Like, he's playing a different game. If you watch his screen, you can tell he's playing a different game because the entire sea is hidden. He's just built... I love that about this game. Like, let people break records without scrutinizing what they did. And if they did, don't put a permanent black mark on their account and ban them for doing it unless it like actually harmed the game. Like, it's not even like the economy was involved in this. It was just, if you want to roll back his XP, you've shown you'll do it with Rendy, but I agree, maybe the plugins should be banned, but I don't know. I've said enough, but that's my opinion of it.
You know
it got me fired up because they pissed me off.
I like it. I like the fired up Hoyt. Sounds the same as normal Hoyt, but you can tell there's some passion. But I think you might have changed my opinion, man. Honestly, okay, if I was in that situation, now I'm just thinking about it. I don't want to be a flip-flopper, but if I like found that method and I was like, oh yeah, this is all actually RuneLite sanctioned, yeah, why not?
I almost feel like they need to ask Marni's peers what they think instead of Aiza, who doesn't even play the game. He plays Classic WoW.
Send him to
I'm
a
being
trial.
mean, but like, it's almost like, how, if you said you can't click 8 times in 1 second, how am I going to take any of the shit you're saying is true? Like, and then you're accusing him of like mirroring his clicks when it's clear in the video they're attacking on different clicks or on different ticks. But it upset me, obviously, because I think what Jagex does is they get a lot of flack, and they've done really good since like the Doom release. They had the huge bot ban. They did great there. Like, they've done amazing work. Whatever they changed is working. But people gave them a lot of flack for a lot of bots for the last 13 years the game has been out. And instead of, attacking 200 bots and free to play on the same tile, cutting a U-log, they're like, we're going to look at the rank 1 players and start banning them. It's like, what are you doing? No, stop.
Yeah.
And I'd rather like there be less false bans and more bots but I'm an Iron Man, so it doesn't matter as much to me. But I've spent too much time on this, so I think everyone gets where I'm coming from. It's really upsetting to see, because I feel like this bit of injustice for Marni. There was like some closure, not really, but Marni posted on Twitter that him and Aiza had reached out to him, which I do want to applaud. Aiza has had a habit of reaching out to people directly. Good on him for handling that. But in this case, he acknowledged that Aiza reached out. He acknowledged the plugin Click to Minimize was the result of action being taken. Because originally Aiza was saying this was external software, which is scary that they can't tell.
That
plugin
is true.
versus external.
That is true.
And then he added that they weren't able to replicate the behavior themselves. That's the reason they decided not to reverse the offenses on any of his accounts. And Marni stands by the fact he didn't use any macros. The closure is that they admitted that it was the plugin and that they still couldn't replicate it, so he must be cheating. But I don't know.
Oh, man. And wait, I just checked. The Click to Minimize plugin is gone.
It's gone.
Dead.
Rip chins.
No, dude, that's how I was going to get the chin pet. That's so sad. I hate Aiza for that.
Yeah, thanks, Aiza. I'm sorry for throwing shade at you, Aiza. I feel like the ego is here, and I almost feel like any of us would make this mistake. Yeah. All right, I'll move on. Is there anything else you want to add before I change the topic?
I don't think so. I think that this is just going to continue to be a case-by-case basis every time that they just ban someone for seemingly whatever they're feeling like that day.
Yeah.
So it's maybe just another like PSA to, if you're doing something that feels a little slimy, I don't know, maybe just make sure you're okay with copping a little bit of a ban. If you're, I don't know, no one's probably out there breaking records right now, but if there's anything that seems a little off from RuneLite, I don't know, just go for it, but be ready to take the consequences, I guess.
And there's an art to being low key, which Rendy did not do, and neither did Marni. They're not low key with this tech.
It's the egos of these guys too.
But that's almost why I want to defend them, because they clearly weren't trying to sneak around. They were blatantly saying, yo, this is in the game, watch me. fucking pop off.
Maybe I'll revise my
Shadow
statement. If you're going to do
Records.
something illegal, then just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, in your little friends group or something. Yeah. But I don't like that now people have to evaluate going for a record if they're going to get banned, like for new tech they found, discovered, yeah, there's something else I was going to say, but I've been a dead horse enough. We'll move on. So
yeah, I think that sounds good.
We got a couple blogs, and this one came out kind of out of the blue. The bank tags, Trooper system rework, and more. Before that, though, we did have a GE improvements update that I'll run through just super quick here. So
Improvements.
the GE improvements, I think,
quote
is
unquote
massive. Right now, you can only buy and sell things with the 32-bit integer, I guess you would call it, which is 2.146 bill. And they're going to add 2.1 bill platinum so that you can actually buy, sell, trade up to 2.1 trillion gold. Why is this relevant? Well, there's a huge black market for everything over 2.1 bill GP because it maxes out. So people on the black market will sell third age picks for 14 bill. Or whatever it is these days. It's mostly third age items, super rares, but they're kind of these investment vessels and a hobby for people to flip, because if you can buy one for 12 and hold it, you just made 1 or 2 bill just holding onto an asset. It's a stock. So
Yep.
Poplo, you play a main with some GP. What do you think? Are you happy to see this? The black markets can go away, or what?
No, I'm sad, dude. I don't have any. I have no stake in this. I have no third age items on my account, just to be clear. But I'm sad, dude, because I wouldn't call it a black market. It's supply and demand. I mean, yeah, there's rich people. If you're real world trading, then if you bought all that gold, then yeah, you should be banned for it. But I know some friends that just they sold their bank for a third age pickaxe, and they want to do a third age pickaxe rebuild or something, and just they've lost probably 4 bill from just the third age market crashing now, on a third age pickaxe, which is just dude, if you think about it, that's so much money. You could buy so much gear. You could buy probably max gear for 4 bill right now. It's crazy. So I feel bad about it. I don't know how this helps anything. What's the point? How does it help anything other than? Huh?
You only actually lose that money if you sell it back. So as long as you never...
True. The long-term investment.
But
I don't know how this
change the emotional toll.
Yeah, who out there other than the people who actually have this amount of money and are looking to buy third age stuff are actually buying anything for max cash or more? It just doesn't seem necessary to me. My opinion could be changed, but what's the point? Except to get rid of third age inflation. It just ruins things.
We've got the dynamic duo going on here because I couldn't disagree anymore. I think, first off, I want to accept...
Defend your position.
I want to acknowledge that if you invested in a third age pick and suddenly lost 4 bill, I genuinely feel bad for you because this kind of came out of nowhere. And I'm sorry. That sucks. Moving past that...
Yeah, what's your follow-up?
This is just market transparency. It's good for buyers. It's good for sellers. It's good for everyone. There's no more monopolies. There's no more, there's no more price gouging. There's no more price fixing, price setting, because the people buying and selling third age picks are a very small competitive group of people who know each other for the most part. Not actually, but it's a couple hundred people at most.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a club that's now open and transparent. It's just like real life. Do you want your stocks to be behind networking and knowing a guy, or do you want to be able to open, your app and purchase part of a company right now for the exact calculated price it is going for? I only see benefits from market transparency.
So
It's bad for sellers, but I think they're kind of leeches if they're just price fixing rares and hoping the next sucker falls for it. Because they're buying, I mean, they're flippers. Like, how do you feel? I don't think flipping anything is inherently negative. I think you can do it right, but I think you're playing with fire.
But here's the thing: is that I feel like this is different than like the real life stock market because of if you, let's say you have saved up your whole bank for 2.1 bill and you're going to go buy a third age axe because you want that investment. You want to be part of the in crowd, like what you were talking about, Hoyt.
Status symbol.
You say, like, that's just your investment. You're not going to, I mean, you're going to use it.
It's whatever. A good investment before this.
So then you go in and you buy it. Well, I think the difference is that now you are part of the in crowd. You have that item and you are like part of the small community that sets these prices. And so it's like one of those things where, yes, they are kind of like collecting them, and like most of the third age stuff goes to a very small amount of people that have that wealth. But like, it is an investment that when you do save up and you do get enough to get like with the in crowd, like then you're kind of in. It's not like it's going to crash unless something drastic like this happens, like outside manipulation. And so I feel like this is like Jagex doing the same thing, like not manipulating, but like just completely shifting the market. And then just like you have spent all this time and money on this investment just to lose it because they didn't like that you were part of an in crowd that, and then like, okay, so then the price, like if you do that and the price of the third age axe goes up to 2.5 bill or whatever, you know, you made 400 mil, and then the next person comes along, like the new age rich Toa gang comes along, you know, they made all their money from TOA and they want to invest, then they came later, they have to pay 2.5 bill to get into that investment. Well, you're the one who sells them the axe, so you made 400 mil, and now they are like, you have your security and then they have their security. Because I don't know, maybe I'm like blind to how it actually works, but in my mind it doesn't seem as nefarious as people make it up to be, just because prices are like astronomically high to start with. Like the bar is very high, but also in this game you don't really have to be born into wealth. It takes a long time. So I think the people who have put in the work and the investment, not the people who have bought gold, but the actual people who have put in the work and the time to build up like that amount of wealth, I think that it should be able to be protected somehow.
So if I purchase, let's take the third age pick, that's what we're all thinking of. If suddenly the market is transparent, Jagex pulls the sheet, you know, the curtains, pulls the curtains open, we all see the inner workings, and suddenly I'm just going to throw numbers out. I don't know what it's going for, but it goes from 15 to 12 bill. Why would that be? Why would that be other than it being priced incorrectly? The market's like a machine. It feels nothing. It knows nothing. It doesn't hate anyone for being in an in crowd. It just is what people are willing to pay and what people are willing to sell.
So the invisible hand.
Yeah, the invisible hand. I'm big libertarian, but I don't see how it can be negative. There's like a disconnect. I don't know.
I mean, I guess in the economics, like long term, it'll balance out to what it's supposed to be, right? So
yeah, short term, I mean, we
can't really look at like at how it is right now, because everyone, like, it just dove. Like everyone is gonna take a hit. Nobody is gonna make money on this, and so it's gonna keep creeping back up to actually like adjust where it's supposed to be at. But also, it's supply and demand. Like, if prices go up, like if you set the third age pickaxe price at 30 bill, like, and nobody can buy it, like, do you actually have 30 bill of wealth? Like, no. There's still people who are buying 30H pickaxes for 14 bill. So, like, you still had that amount, not, like, in liquid assets. Not, like, super, but there's some amount of transactions still going on there.
I just think if I want to buy a 30H pickaxe, I don't want to have to hunt someone down in a Discord and then worry the whole time that I'm getting ripped off and losing a bill because I don't want to wait. And then I find someone who will buy for the amount I want, and then I have to wait for them to log on. It turns out they were lying, and they said, like, it's like selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace, you know? It's just like a headache or something. And if I could just have the eBay thing or Amazon where they just put the money here, I will ship the thing here. And it's simple, so.
But I don't know,
it's interesting.
I'd like, nobody, if you're going to buy a 30H pickaxe, you better have, like, slept on this for, like, a week. Like, done your research. Done your, like, nobody is just deciding one day, like, all right, I think I'm going to buy a 30H pick to whoever the first person is that is willing to sell me one. Like, you got to go do your research. But one day, you got to know.
I'd imagine one day you take the leap because you probably have the money, and then you're like, well, I kind of want to keep one mega rare. And then you, like, barely have a little, like, there's some day where you have to take the leap and be like, or some week, you know, today's the day, I'm going to wait a week or two. And then I think of, like, anytime I've made a big purchase, you know, I'm, like, floundering for a while, and then finally I'm like, okay, I need to do it. And then I kind of I do my research for a little bit. But I feel like the only argument here that I could predict and see would be the whole, like, it's a cool sense of community, and it brings you back today to, like, interact with these groups of people and meet somebody and trade it, as opposed to just this machine you put money in, get item out. And there's a cool community behind the collectors, and, like, there was reputable sellers, and but I don't think that stuff's that valuable to keep versus, I think it's valuable, but I don't think it's you know, I think the means justify, what is it, the why can't I think today?
The ends justify the means.
The ends justify the means. Thank you. So, interesting. All right. Anything else on the GE tax?
No, I don't think so. Let us know in the comments what you guys think, or in the Discord. Come roast me in the Discord.
When I started
the weekly,
when I came to this game back from playing as a child, first off, I was like, how could anyone have 2.1 bill, right? Like 15 mil or 50 mil or 400 mil was like the blue party hat. You were a giga god. And then once I realized, the twisted bill or whatever is like half of that. And I was like, oh, wow. I immediately remember, I'm like, why in the world does the GE max out at 2.1 if, like, people's banks are like 10 bill? Like, I was always just like, why is it like this? It's like, and we have platinum and you still can't. And that was, 7 years ago. So, all right. Moving forward, they also plan to make more responsible. What in the world? Why did I write that? They also plan to make more reliable guide prices, I guess, is what I'm thinking. Better item search, clear buy limits, and better selling price estimates. So, really just improve the GE experience. These will come late summer or autumn unless we really let them know we don't want them. The big one here, bank tags for mobile and the official client are live. Unfortunately, they have the same problem with potion storage where you got to take stuff out of potion storage and you can't tag it. I cannot stand that. But Poplo, this is big news for you. You've been playing on mobile. You finally got tags now?
Yeah, I can make a tag for Gemstone Crab. And
Birdhouse runs would be sick.
Birdhouse, herb runs. Not that I do those, but should.
Nerfing those.
You can do it faster now.
Yeah.
I love it.
Very good.
Actually, that's really good because I'm just thinking about this now. I have a tab like in my bank,
Clues?
like actually set up. No, like for Birdhouse or farm runs, I have a tab in there that was specifically set up as it looks as if it's supposed to be a bank tag, specifically for when I was on mobile. I would just go to that tab, and it was almost like a bank tag. But now I can actually like organize my bank how I want it and get rid of those. So that's actually kind of nice. I'll have to spend some time doing that.
This is big. Yeah, I'm really happy. Happy they added this. I think all of us find ourselves playing on mobile. And man, when it comes in clutch, it comes in really clutch. Some of my biggest gains, I remember I went on a road trip. I always drive to road trips, but this one time I wasn't. I was in the car all day, and that's when I got all the sandstone for 99 crafting. I 3-ticked that bitch with my 2 thumbs for like 8 hours straight.
You got arthritis, dude.
Yeah, dude, I was just cooking. My phone was so hot, the battery.
That's insane.
Firing that stuff.
Wild.
Obviously, I took some breaks, but I remember that day vividly because I was so happy when we got done. I was like, I was so productive. But speaking of things that are awesome, the Yama Soul Reaper Axe kit is now a bit bigger. I thought it looked really funny before, so I'm happy they did this.
Yeah, they all kind of look bad in game. I'm gonna just say it.
Yeah, I think the rewards this time around were a little rough. 2 new Slayer unlocks for Frost Dragons came out. 1 to extend them, and 1 to make them more likely from the Slayer Master. So I'll probably be purchasing these. I don't see why not. I really want the dragon sheets, and I have a lance, so... And they dropped the Draconic Visage, right? So...
Yeah, I think so.
Visage, whatever. Cool. They patched sailing rewards from bounty creatures. Thanks, Marni. About 24-hour turnaround on that. Good on them. And the new Trigger system is live. So we talked about this a little while ago. Go listen to the episode for more info. But untradables with no combat benefits should never be lost on death now. So your graceful should... don't quote me, but it says here it should never ever be lost on death. I'm still not bringing mine out there until it'll probably take me a few years to shake that habit. I'm going out butt naked with a dragon dagger and maybe black hide. But untradables with some combat bonuses should break and need repairing. Think of the fire cape. It's not quite Infernal Cape, but it's still good, so it'll break. You just need to repair it without a Truver. So you don't have to do anything to it. And then untradables with strong combat bonuses should need to be, use a Truver parchment on them, and then you have to pay to repair them, and you never have to Truver them again. So think of your Infernal Cape, and then like Void has to be Truvered, and then you pay extra and lose extra on death or whatever.
Fighter Torso, Rune Pouch, Quiver. Those are all in the high-end ones, too. Okay, yeah. The list is super long. Go look.
Also... Did you like this system? What do you think of this?
Well, I think that... I mean, it definitely benefits mains, because you can just trade GP for DPS out there. But I will say, it's a little pricey. Like, for the high-end ones, once you Truver Parchment something, and if it breaks, then it's 500k to fix it. So it's not cheap. And then for the, like, not as good ones, some of the capes, the imbued mage capes, fire cape, Ava's, assemblers, stuff like that, it's still 200k to repair. So it's not, like, nothing.
Yeah.
But
I hate arbitrary systems, especially when they're in the wilderness. And what I mean by arbitrary is like where the line isn't drawn, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Void, just normal Void, not Elite Void, is part of the highest.
Yes.
Must be Truvered.
Void and Elite Void are both in the highest ones, yeah.
Yeah. So you have normal Void, but then the Fire Cape, which I would argue, without seeing this, they're on the same level. They're both like easy to get, but kind of hard to get. But I can see how, I don't know, but like having to tell someone, well, before you go PK, you got to go here, you got to check all 13 pieces of gear you're wearing or whatever against this spreadsheet, and then you got to remember, and you got to Truver 3 of them, and I just hate that. But I'm just moaning.
No, I agree with you. Anything that they have to list out item by item what it works on and what it doesn't, there's no, it's like you said, it's arbitrary. It's the same thing as we scroll down. I don't think we'll talk about it, but the Z buffer changes that they keep fixing.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what just ticks me off, is that they just keep fixing like they're playing whack-a-mole with everything, like one thing at a time. It's not like they're fixing the actual problem. They're like, oh, we're just gonna go in and band-aid everything. It's like, okay, we don't actually know how the wilderness should work, so we're just gonna make these lists, and you're just gonna have to check it every time you want to go into the wilderness. So
yeah, and that's just from sailing. It's been 7 months with all these.
Better. Yep.
The new renderer. Yeah, it's really embarrassing. All right.
I can't imagine how much dev time that is taking just for the Z buffer stuff.
Yeah, that's
I don't even know.
Totally. Some guy dedicates half of his day. Probably a team dedicate. If I'm thinking of like my work, my Monday mornings, the whole first half of the day I just do reports, and then there's like one day a week we meet for like 2 hours and we do like website like cleaning. So I think they probably meet for a few hours and do this cleaning because they just have a long list of them, and it's gotta suck. Yeah, I'm sure they hate it more than we do, and their bosses are like, why don't you just fix it? It takes 10 minutes. Just, it's so easy.
But see, you say that, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 things on this list. Times 10 minutes. That's over 2 hours.
Yeah.
They got stuff to do. If it's 10,
but you got 40 hours a week, and that's part-time. That's good. All right. They updated LMS gameplay items, so they added the Oathblade helm as like a drop you can get. They changed the default loadout slightly. Go read them. They just changed a couple things, like you get some brews and sharks for starting accounts. I don't know. Presumably these are good changes. And then there is a Blood Moon Rises baking competition. I myself, I love to bake and cook and stuff, but I don't know if I'll be participating in this. Maybe for fun. It ends on June 29th, though. Go check out the website. Just bake something bloody and gory and
sounds
put some
delicious.
maggots in it. And then new jumbo plushies, Jad, Giant Mole, and Cerberus are out. So you can get one for, was it Mavis?
Oh, yeah.
Get her
maybe I should get her
the best
get her a little giant mole plushie.
She might try to kill it. They probably eat the ground moles. They probably like to kill them. They're like rats.
Oh, maybe. She doesn't like dogs. She doesn't like when they bark outside.
Shocked.
So I should get her a Cerberus one.
Keeping the stereotype alive.
Oh yeah. She started growling when when there's dogs barking.
That's great. All right. Now that we are let's see here, over an hour in, Poplo's gonna talk about the reason people probably clicked on this episode. So I'll try to be careful with the thumbnail. Let them know there's more than just the rewards.
Yeah, the stuff that everybody's been waiting for. This was an amazing blog. I'm super excited to go over this with you, Hoyt, get your thoughts. We finally get to get a look into Raids 4 rewards and what that's going to be, where they're going to fit into the game. I'm really excited. So let's jump into it. Do you have anything before we start here?
No, I'm excited to see what they've been cooking up. They've been like teasing us for a while, and they didn't want to say anything, which I respect. So
yeah,
excited to dig in.
Yeah. Okay. So first off, I guess just a minor thing is that they're going to have a teleport back to the Fractured Archive. So same way that they have like the necklace for Chambers of Xeric. They've got the Draken's Medallion for Theater of Blood. They're going to have one to teleport back to the Fractured Archive, which I think will be kind of cool. That'll be nice to have instead of having to use your Gethixian temple teleport scrolls. So that'll be nice just to have that. You can use those scrolls before you get this. Apparently this was like, some people were a little bit frustrated about this because Guthixian teleport scrolls like should have a place in the game, they thought. What do you think about this, Hoyt?
I think that's whack. They probably just invested in them.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But I thought maybe I was crazy.
There's something to say about there being an economy around maybe low-level players getting teleports that are valuable, and high-level players have so much money they don't care. They buy 1 million at a time. I don't think that's a hill worth dying on. And I think the annoyance of having to... Like, I think teleports aren't a thing we need to gatekeep and make you go to Grand Exchange to stock up on. I hate that stuff, man. Like, let's stop it.
Everyone just wants more teleports. So
I think it's perfect. You have to do the raid to get it. And it's just like chambers. It's not like you get the teleport on your first raid, but in the first 10 or so. And it also gives an incentive for people to get in there early. And this raid's supposed to be harder than Tob. Yeah. So, I think that's good all around.
I think keep that in mind, the difficulty of this raid throughout this talk. I feel like I've got
be harder than Tob. They've said that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad that we're on the same page for that one. Next up, I think these are going to be... What?
Foreshadowing.
Yes.
More debates.
Well, we started off good. Here we go.
On that one.
Okay, elemental motes are going to be consumable item that will give a permanent increase on an element spell by 2 max hits. And these will be a reward from the Fractured Archive. What do you think about these? Because this is going to be interesting. Do you think that it's like an unlock, like for your account? Like once you get it, then you don't have to get any more again? They say that it's like similar to the jewels for your Karis. I think so. But I think that when they're talking about that, they're saying that not like actually like the jewels, but they're saying that it's going to be, they're going to have the pity mechanic is what they say, the pity RNG. So the more that you do and the more dry that you are, the more common they're going to be. But I think that these are just going to be like an unlock.
I think so too. I think there's going to be 4 of them, 1 for each element. And once you get it, your account is unlocked.
Yeah, actually it is. Yeah, because it says the most game-changing account unlocks you'll ever obtain. Okay, cool. So another untradeable that you're going to get just 2 max hits on each of your element spells. This will also, we talked about like the new necklaces, the new amulets of magic that are coming out, 1 for each attack style. So I guess that'll be, they give like 1% damage on each one, but now you get 2 max hits on top of that. So kind of neat.
Yeah.
All right. Getting into the tradable rewards, the drop table that everyone is super excited about.
I do want to say for the motes, I was thinking, I wonder if this is foreshadowing that there's going to be a lot of elemental weakness in the raid. So I just want to throw that little breadcrumb out there. Follow it if you may, but I'm curious to see, maybe invest in your harm orbs now, because, what if there's one of each elemental weakness, like ice demons, but not just fire weakness, so I don't know.
Here's second thought. Wonder if the Twin Flame Staff is going to have any uses where it could it can auto cast whatever weakness it is. So yeah, I wonder maybe Twin Flame to the moon. I guess we'll have to see.
There we go.
We'll see. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that this is going to be like, it's just from some of the items that they've been releasing, or some of the pitches that they have, some of the items that they're working on releasing. Guthix is like the god of balance. So I do think that it's just going to be focused around stuff like that. So obviously we don't know, but that would be pretty good one to think about. So first up, we have the hybrid armor set, and this set is going to be a melee and magic hybrid set, so not for range. It's got plenty of crush bonus, it's got prayer bonus, it's got stab bonus, but I think what makes this really interesting is that the strength bonus on all of these is going to be very similar to Oathplate on all of them, but it's got higher stab accuracy and the prayer bonus is like 16 prayer bonus, which is crazy. It's going to be like almost like wearing proselyte everywhere you go. Like that's how good this is going to be. It's not going to be as good. I think that Sunfire gives 24 prayer bonus, but 16 is still nothing to scoff at. It's also going to be, it's going to have 2% magic damage per piece, which is matching Virtus. It's going to be, that's 1% lower than Ancestral. So even with the Shadow, you're still going to be missing out on 3% magic damage, which is, I guess, 9% magic damage because Shadow triples it. So it's still going to be not best in slot for melee or magic. The only place that it's going to be best in slot for is if you're using a stab weapon on a monster that has stab weakness. So, Hoyt, what do you think about this? I'll get your thoughts on this new hybrid armor set.
So, first off, it looks amazing.
Yeah, the look is so sick.
Killed it.
Yeah.
So, W there, Mod Jerv, never change. Outside of that, I did my due diligence. I listened to every major content creator's coverage of this so I could combine all of them to share. It's funny, this set, pretty much everyone says it's both too weak and too powerful. Which is that's when you know you're kind of cooking. You're in this weird area.
Yeah.
I don't think they're cooking though. I think this is an L. I think they're gonna remake it. No Monkey had an interesting stance in that yes, this is best at nothing. However, the best players might take it so they can fill their inventory with things which do more damage. And I guess he's saying in Toa, your inventory is like maxed out. So by saving 4 or 5 places with this set, or 4, whatever, 3, you're able to bring some more of those DPS increases that you decide to. So like it's a net gain for your raids run time. However, on paper and in calcs, it's lower DPS, but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't PVM enough to know exactly what he's referring to, but that's an interesting take. I heard most everyone says they don't want both. It's too powerful for a hybrid set to be this good, and it's not good enough for anyone to actually use instead of Ancestral or Torva or Oathplate, so it's dead on arrival. And I know Jagex like refers to this as in Tob, learners used to wear Void, not because Void is great, but because you could bring more food and because your switches were only 1 item, the helmet.
Yeah.
And, or I guess 3 if you had an offhand main hand. And while they're correct, no one does that anymore for Tob learners. Like, that's kind of old tech. I don't think anyone's... Poplo, are you telling anyone to wear Void on their first Tob anymore? I feel like that's not a thing anymore.
I think it depends
Is
about
that 2019 tech.
I think it just depends on how much experience they have of other bosses. Yeah. Like if they're fine with switching gear, then I think starting off with strength gear and bringing Void is fine. But
fair enough.
I mean, it's still viable if there's someone who's like never done PVM and trying to teach them how to Tob, then yeah, it does make it way easier to just do a 2-way switch where you're not expecting them to do any damage in the first place. You just are trying to keep them alive. So
I also heard, and I've had this experience, we all have, that hybrid gear actually makes switching more awkward and more difficult.
Yes.
And I get so flustered at gear switching when things get messed up. Like TOA, Monkey Room, and Wardens. Yeah. When I'm tri-breeding, my face gets hot. I get so like frustrated and nervous because everything's on the line, and if you die, you wipe, whatever, you reset. All your time is wasted. But I get really frustrated when my inventory is like out of whack. It's like somebody, I don't know, went in my car and just rifled through everything and threw it everywhere. It's just, I don't know, it's like just sets me off. So
No, I feel that. There have been times when I have elected to like bring a boot switch, not because it's better, but because it keeps the inventory clean. Like I would rather have a clean inventory and bring one extra switch than have to do some weird 6-way into a 7-way into a 5-way or something, and then you're all messed up wearing different pieces and they don't go back where they're supposed to. So I totally agree with you with that, because you're still gonna have to bring all of your range gear, but your melee and mage gear is going to be together. Well, just 3 pieces, I guess. So that does make things a little bit more annoying. I guess going back to that point that No Monkey is talking about, I think that the best players are already pretty much bringing everything that you can to maximize DPS. And so I don't think there's really much more that people are leaving out by not... Like, there's not a lot of stuff that I can think of that that I would bring, but I'm like, oh, I don't have the inventory space for it. Like, I'm pretty much bringing...
That's what I was confused
just about everything.
Because there's 28 slots, man. Like, surely you got everything in there, but he was insinuating that maybe there's 2 or 3 more pieces, like maybe a specific god sword for specific boss or puzzle room at a specific time. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting perspective I definitely didn't think of.
Right.
And then one other thing I found interesting was maybe this was Rice Cup. Somebody was saying, so this right now, the only stab armor for accuracy we have right now that I'm aware of is Mixed Hide.
Yeah.
And maybe maybe some others have like some residual, a few, but really Mixed Hide is like a stab armor. This would be, of course, better than Mixed Hide. It would be the new best stab armor. But surely, in Jagex's reward space, they're going to release an oath plate that is stab. Like, it may not be this year or next year or 3 years, but surely they'll create something like Nightmare and need an armor set, and stab sitting right there looking pretty. So eventually, this won't even be good at that either.
No, I agree with you. There's nothing really that like stab is the primary weakness, like Nex, but then you have the Fang. And so it's like you're already getting crazy accuracy in general. So you don't really need a ton more accuracy because you're getting double rolls every time you use the Fang anyways. So
yeah, and some people were like, this is so busted, this super busted, it cannot come out. And some people are like, it looks cool, but like prayer, nobody cares. Like,
yeah.
And then this is coming from, as we've said, the hardest raid to ever. I don't want another Justy set that's like, Justy is useful. It is the best defense armor in the game, but it's still trash value. It's worth a few million. We'll give it that.
Yeah.
But it's never seen. If you're wearing it, I assume you're tanking Inferno. Like, I never ever see it, and I don't want another one of those, which we're so min-maxy. I do fear that happening.
Well, dang,
so
Hoyt.
I don't know.
I
don't know if I have an opinion.
Well, it sounds like you do, and I agree with you. I think that this like armor set. I mean, so I was listening to Kirby talking about it, and he said that like for challenge mode Ulm, this versus max gear currently, I think you're missing out on like 6 seconds on average.
Like 10 seconds overall.
Yeah, it's like 6 seconds on average per, like, for 1 through 3 mage hand, and like 5 seconds for melee hand. And so you're really not missing out on much. But at the same time, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, well, what are you going to bring otherwise to increase that damage? Like, yeah, you'll have more inventory space, which could be like that could actually be a benefit for challenge mode Ulm, because then you get to bring 3 more brews in there, which is a big thing when you're doing CMs. But ultimately, it's not going to change much for like the metas. It's like, I think it'll sit a little bit above Justy still. I can see this being like still, I don't know, 30 mil a piece, maybe 30 or 40. Actually, wait, what's Oathblade?
Oathblade's up there. But that's BIS in a lot of areas, which is a problem we talked about.
So, yeah, I mean, I think
it'll still be worth, like, what's Virtus worth? I feel like it'd be worth around, I mean, obviously it'd be worth around Virtus because it's got the same magic bonus, but...
I don't know, my GE plugin is broken. I have to look it up. But anyways, this is going back to what we talked about last week in my wish list, is I think that this would sit really nicely if Oathplate was a little bit more nerfed. If it was like, this was a side grade to Inquisitors for Slash, you know, like sitting still a little above Oathplate, that would actually give it like value for where Oathplate is at right now. And like what you said, it comes from like the hardest raid we're going to get. This is raids 4. I just think that it's going to kind of fall into the wayside of, like irrelevancy, just with people already knowing the metas. It's not going to change anything. People want their DPS, so some people will bring it for some things, but ultimately I don't think this is going to change too much.
Yeah, I do kind of have an opinion. I will say I think the purpose of this raid is not for the armor set. It's going to be the mega rare. So I think it's fine for the armor set to not be BIS because they don't have a lot of area to work with. Outside of that, I think I like the idea of a hybrid armor set that newer players can wear, and they trade off DPS in order for longer trips, easier time learning, more food. I like that being a reward space that they could operate in. I don't know if this is it. Maybe that's exactly what this is. If so, I'm a fan, but I like that idea. And I think some people were looking for the wrong things when they called this trash. I don't think Jagex will replace the 3 best in slot gears, or they should either. I think we voted that way. We're like, don't do that.
Yeah, and I want to. Would you what do you mean you don't think that best in slot gear should come from this raid?
I think the best in slot should be like the weapon, or something that isn't currently offered, like stab. But I don't want to replace Torva. I don't want to replace Ancestral. I mean, that's the oldest one, so I'd be the one I'd be most willing to. Yeah,
so what do you think about, I guess, making this like Ancestral 2 and just saying that Chambers is outdated? Like, the features now, the new raid, time for some Ancestral with prayer bonus or something.
The problem with that isn't invalidating Ancestral, it's congrats, you've just made the Shadow more dominant.
Yeah.
That's the real issue's the Shadow for that.
Yeah. The Shadow causes a big problem in balancing everything.
Yeah.
I have one more question for you on this. I want to get your opinion. How do you I feel like this... Okay, we talked about a lot of things. We talked about Oathplate. We talked about Virtus. We talked about, like, this could be, like, skipping Bandos, stuff like that. But what do you think about this being, like, skippable content, I guess? Like, there's so much of the game that you don't really have to go do now if you get this armor set. Like, you don't really need to go get Oathplate.
Ooh.
You don't really need to go get Bandos. You don't really need to go get Virtus. You don't really need to go get Sunfire. Like, if you get this, it's kind of all in one. It's not quite as good as all of those individually, but all combined, it saves you a ton of time just to get this armor set. I'm assuming to get this armor set than it does versus all those other things and put them together.
I'll tell you, I stole this idea, or this, I've learned this from Sebe talks about it. I think one of the best items to come into the game was the Prims, because they're only, what were they, +1 or +2 strength bonus from Dragon Boots.
Yeah.
Just nothing.
Super low. Yep.
But because they were the best, they still stayed at 20-30 mil. Even though it just wasn't worth it, but because of the status of knowing you have the Jordans on, you match the big guys, and no matter what you spent, you have the best boots. You're better than them. You will do more DPS. It won't be a lot, but you will do more DPS, given you're both the same skill level. And I think that I'm fine with there being options to skip so long as they're never the best. I'm fine with you having Blood Moon as long as Bandos is a tiny bit better.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Just a teeny tiny better. And that's really more for emotional value than the actual DPS.
Well, that one is.
Yeah, but
specifically.
In general, like, that's kind of my answer. I'm fine with skippable things as long as they're never the best. There's always like that, well, actually it's not, you really should go get this if you want to be the best.
Yeah. I think that this is going to shake up stuff for Iron Man too. I'm thinking more for Iron Man because mains, it's kind of like everything is skippable content. Like you get a drop and it's like, okay, what's the next upgrade? I could buy this or I could buy Oathplate. Like this will be like part of the progression. Like once you get this, then you want to diversify to bringing this and Oathplate, once you get the cash stack up, stuff like that. Like I think this will be part of the progression. But I guess I worry about it a little bit more for Iron Man perspective of this is like going to shake things up where you no longer need to go get all these things. You don't really need to. It's going to be like on Ladlor's chart when Torva's at the very end of like you don't have anything else to go for. It's like, okay, you've already got this. So then I guess you might as well go do some Yama because technically Oathplate is better. You might as well go do some Chambers because technically Ancestral is better. But this is going to say, like, compared to the hours to get Ancestral, I mean, I'm just assuming because we don't know drop rates, but I'm just assuming you're going to see a lot more of this than you would Ancestral at Solo Chambers. So I think that it's just going to cause some major skippage. Like if you go here,
I think
like
it's worth noting that we don't know what gear you'll need to even do the raid.
That is true.
So if you need better gear than this raid will reward you with to complete it efficiently, or realistically, then it won't affect Iron Man, but it will affect mains.
Yeah.
And
but I think eventually it's going to be one of those things where like you can just bring your Iron Man in Void to Tob and you can pull Scythe. Like you can, I think it's going to get to that point where you can just bring your Iron Man in Blood Moon and your Atlatl to Fractured Archive. Eventually you'll be good enough, or there'll be players that are good enough to just go straight from Moons to here, maybe, and then get some super sick armor.
There's current players who go for the T-Bow skip and actually do it.
Yeah.
Or the Bofa skip.
Crazy people.
So,
I think that's all I have to say about hybrid armor. I think that's the most that I have maybe like discussion about it. But I think that it's just sits kind of in a weird spot for me. I wish that it was better. I think that I would like to have a new BIS armor come from the new raid, but I don't think that it is possible to do that without rebalancing some of the current gear that we have. I just don't think that there is space right now. I think we are so saturated with gear across the board that I don't think that there's really like a niche to be filled here. So I do like the direction that they're going, but I can see why it's very difficult.
Rebalance the Shadow integrity change.
No, don't do that.
Seriously. They have to if you want new BIS gear and it's Ancestral, they have to rebalance the Shadow, right?
No,
I don't know the calcs. Maybe the calcs say it's fine,
just let the power creep happen. Just let it happen, man. Just lay back, let it happen.
by power creep, you mean use the shadow everywhere. You're going to be so sick of the 5-tick
Well,
eagles flying.
I think when we get to the last item in this blog, I don't think the shadow is going to be used everywhere. So,
yeah.
But, okay.
I think it's safe to say this armor set will change based on all the feedback I've heard. So I think we're safe to just wait for the next iteration, because I don't think this will be coming.
Gotcha. Okay, up next, I have the privilege of saying this word, is the shield, the Rondosh, I think.
Yeah.
Rondosh. So this is a new shield, and it is going to give, first off, it gives 2 flat armor.
I think it's Rondash.
The Rondash. Okay, that makes sense.
I googled it.
Rondash. Okay, so it's going to give 2 flat armor for melee and range. Doesn't work on magic, which means that you're going to be taking a lot less chip damage. I think so. If I'm thinking correctly, that means that any attack coming in is just going to hit 2 less on you. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you would get hit for an 8,
no matter what it is,
6.
-2.
Yep.
But it does not work for magic damage.
Correct. Yeah.
Which is, I don't know why.
I think it's weird.
That.
Maybe we'll get to that. But and then also it's going to have a special attack where the damage that you mitigate with the flat armor will charge up the shield up to 20 charges. And so if you get hit for like more than 2 damage 10 times, that'll charge it all the way up. And then you can use this charge. I'm guessing it'll have a separate spec bar, but you can use this charge to cast a special attack for 20 damage plus it'll roll but up to 20 damage plus 20%. So that'll be, I guess, up to 24, kind of like a Granite Maul where it won't stall you, but you can just do it instantly. And so it'll have actually a DPS special attack. So you are incentivized to charge it up before you use it. And then it doesn't have super great defensive abilities, but it's going to be more for an offensive use. So this will kind of sit similar to the Avernic. It's going to be about the same as the Avernic, but it's going to be better where you're taking more damage, more chip damage. It has less offensive. It has no offensive stats. So if you need any accuracy from the Avernic, then that's going to be better. But this will actually have a few places where it actually outclasses the Avernic with a special attack. Hoyt, take it away.
I like this. I don't like the visuals. I think they need to. It's not going to match anything. But Radiant Plate.
The guy,
it's cool. I think it's beautiful. I just think it will not apply to the game and look good. Bro, imagine this with Blood Torva. Like, come on. It's not very neutral.
That is true. It's kind of blue. It's like Ceradon colored. So
yeah, it's
going to be
just
opposite
like the
of Blood
Sarah
blue, gold, and white
scythe. Yeah. It looks great. I'm not saying it's ugly at all. I just think the colors are so out there. It will stick out so bad. But I think that's what a lot of people have said. I think I like everything about this. The controversial part of this is the shield swapping. They don't want to be the meta for gamers like Poplo to have to do all the time.
Right.
Now, some gamers say, let me do it. I'd like to do the more APM, the better. But introducing that can be bad. So
yeah. So the way that they're getting around that is that it doesn't actually start charging up. Like it doesn't actually start the charges until you attack with it. And so once you attack with it, if you keep it equipped, then you'll start to gain charges.
And the charges, I don't know if you said this, but there's a % multiplier. So if you have 20 charges, it'll actually be 20 plus 20%. So that's 24, meaning you have an incentive. Instead of 10 plus 10% would be 11. So you'd lose out. It's like,
you're like doubling your max hit,
increase.
Basically.
Yeah, so they're they want you to hold on to 20 charges. That's why they don't want you to shield swap, and there's like the cooldown thing. But I think it's cool. I like that. I looked, and it's basically the equivalent of a rune kite shield, a little better in some areas, a little worse in others. But it's really just there for the offense. I think another spec bar is a cool, uncharted territory they should explore more. And I think they should make it a little bigger, though. I know that technically this is what is historically accurate and more, this is more agile and nimble and accurate, but it's just like the Soul Reaper actually Yama, like, bro, we're playing video game. Let's make this shit big and cool. So
yeah.
Overall, I think this is a W. I feel like I haven't heard much like debate besides the shield swapping and if it should or shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah. I think it's...
And it buffs one-handed weapons, which have needed a buff.
Yeah.
Rapier needs a buff. Blade of Sodor needs a buff. So I like that. Just by existing, it buffs them.
Yeah. I don't know if this is going to have a ton of use. I'm going to be honest, just because one-handed weapons aren't, like, super meta right now. I think the idea is very cool. I also have thoughts about... I don't know if I like, kind of with this and the hybrid armor set, I don't know if I like adding more like APM to get more DPS from this. It's like something that you need to like always be watching and always be checking up on. It's not just like, okay, you got your switches and your prayers correct, you're doing maximum DPS. It's like, oh, I've been sitting here for 10 minutes and my shield's been fully charged. I just forgot to click the bar. I can't, like, take a breather, you know, when I'm PVMing. If I'm using this, I'm going to have to be clicking that spec bar every like 30 seconds, maybe, depending on where you're at. And so I think that it's just another thing that you are going to have to lock in to use in order to get the full benefit out of. But it will be better in some places where you take chip damage. Having flat armor is kind of a cool thing. I know they've been kind of introducing flat armor into the game, so it's nice that we actually get a source of flat armor too. But I'm not over the moon about this one. It'll be fine. I think that it sounds a little bit annoying to use just because of the spec, but we'll see. I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
I also don't know why it doesn't apply to magic damage, but that's
just the game engine. It's wild.
Yeah.
I think you will have like the blowpipe thing where everyone's like, yeah, the blowpipe DPS is good, but if you miss one tick every few attacks, your actual DPS looks like this. It's terrible.
Yeah. So
the APM thing you're talking about is very real, and there is a line. There is, and any too much of like either extreme is negative. So having nothing to do as you wait every 5 ticks for your character to shoot an arrow to hit a 0 can be just mind-numbing when you want to game. Like you're blasting EDM music, you're caffeinated, and you're standing there shooting zeros. Like, yeah. And then on the other side, like, you don't want to be doing Awakened Leviathan for every single raid because your friends expect you to be doing max DPS and you do that too. And yeah, it's just too much. And then it turns into Toa where you're so active that 45 minutes feels like hours and you can't sustain like long gaming sessions because you're just so tired. So yeah,
it might have a place
on this,
but yeah,
it's not. We'll I can see why you don't like this because there's no power creep here.
That's right. No power creep. Side grade again.
Interesting.
So, all right. Let's move on to the next one. This one gets me going.
Oh, the power creep, yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. We are getting. Well, they are proposing dual crossbows, which just I think they look sick. Okay, so these dual wield crossbows basically what it is, it's a Raids blowpipe. So they're going to be 3-tick, but 2-tick on rapid. They can only fire these new bolts, which can be enchanted with diamond or onyx bolt tips. No rubies on these, but it's going to be a fast-hitting 2-tick weapon that will shoot these bolts, and it's going to outclass the blowpipe, where the blowpipe is very good, and it's going to be pretty good against tankier targets or targets that have heavy ranged weaknesses. So this is also going to be buffed. Well, the blowpipe is too, but this will be buffed too with the new amulet that's coming out from Blood Moon Rises, and it'll also be able to be buffed by the quiver, using that to have the bolts in the quiver, where the blowpipe obviously does not take into that account because it's a charged weapon. So I think this is sick. I think that a better blowpipe like this is probably better. This is probably like old blowpipe coming back, but with crossbows. So I think this is going to be super sick. What do you think, Hoyt?
I'm a fan. I played Diablo 3, and I did play Demon Hunter. That was what I gravitated towards. So I think when you're looking for new reward space with OSRS and you want to introduce something that we haven't seen yet, it's kind of hard to think of things. And I think I wouldn't have thought about this, but I think the class fantasy is perfect to add this in. So visually a W. Reward space, I think a 2-tick weapon is awesome because of what I just described.
Yep, skill expression.
It's really hard to use. When you have a 5-tick mega rare, which we have 3 of, you basically have 4 ticks to make mistakes or to move around, to dodge things, to eat, to chill, whatever. As long as you're clicking on the 5th tick every time, you have the same DPS as someone playing perfect or whatever. With 2 ticks, that window of error is so much more narrower.
Yeah.
So it really makes the good players shine, and the players who bought bonds for hundreds of dollars in order to buy this really stick out like a sore thumb. As soon as they have to move. So I think the only L here is the bolts, because we don't know enough about them, and I do think it kind of sucks to... It's not a big deal, but I think it's a bummer because this game is really built off of, like, collecting things and having reserves, and just like adding something to the top line that you have to have in order to fire this is always kind of cheap. But I think as long as they make like the smithing requirement high enough so Iron Men aren't really skipping anything, it's fine. But and then the Onyx bolts are going to be so expensive, dude. They're like 8K a tip. I heard one of the videos talk about.
Yeah.
If you're firing every 2 ticks, yeah, you save a lot of them, but dude, people are going to be spending. And I think it is good for the expensive... I think it is good for the high-end players to lose a lot of money because they're making a lot of money, so I think it's good for the economy. But the only feedback I've heard is some people just say these are like too busted, can't come in the game. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
I would like them to be... Yeah, like... Should these be mega rare equivalent, or is that going to be the next weapon? What do you think? Should these be better than the T-bow?
I don't think they should be better than T-bow. I did see a post, I don't know if this is true or not, but that they are actually more DPS on 0 defense targets than like the Scythe currently, which I think that is a little bit of a problem. So maybe they're just a little bit overtuned, but I think where you need to use range, I think they could be super sick. With the bolt tips,
and the T-bow thing is always like, well, what's their magic level? So that was a really bad example, but that is what I think of. Like, should this be right under it? I feel like it should be right under it, or like niche. You take both. You need both.
Well, I think it's different because you still use blowpipe on some things.
Yeah,
and so I think it should just be blowpipe too, and then T-bow is still good where T-bow is good. You're not going to go and blowpipe Zammy Like T-bow scorching bow
hand.
is still good there. Like yeah, like Olm head, I guess. But like
Yeah, don't do the hand either way. The head, yeah.
what?
So I meant. I said the hand, but I meant the head.
Oh yeah. Hoyt raids.
Funny.
He raids a lot.
Yeah, Hoyt raids.
But I think with the bolt stuff too, Kirby did the math. I think Onyx bolts are only going to be healing like 1% of the damage that you're doing, like 1.6%, which is like nothing. So I think Diamond Tip is mostly what people are going to be using, but they did cut it down to 50% chance to proc, but you're shooting more than twice as fast because you're shooting every 2 ticks, whereas crossbows right now are 5 ticks, and so you shoot twice in 4 ticks, so it's actually like a 20% buff,
12% better.
Yeah, to the diamond bolts, which I think could be sick. He also said that it's like an 18% damage increase on Leviathan over the current BIS right now, and I just think that's sick. That it has places that it's just going to be so good at, and it comes from a new raid. The bolts are going to only be able to be made from Ascension shards, which come from the raid, and so I think this is going to be sick. I'm super excited for this to come in.
Yeah, I just hope the shards are the shards tradable? I assume they will be. Yeah,
I assume they will be.
I hope they're so bountiful that, well, yeah.
I think they will be. I think it'll be one of those things where, like...
I'm really just concerned about the smithing and fletching getting surpassed, because I think we have to keep the order of things. I think if you can make amethyst, or I think you should need to be able to make amethyst bolts in order to make these Ascension ones.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I just, if they're going to be that good, I don't like the PVM scape of skipping the grinds in this game for the best stuff.
So Onyx tip,
just play a normal account.
Onyx tip runite bolts right now are 73 fletching. So that's not.
But the runite bolt is the smithing is the hard part.
Oh, the smithing. Well, these aren't.
So it takes.
These aren't going to be from runite though. They're going to be from
Ascension.
So I don't know where that's going to fit.
So I hope there's, because it's 88 smithing.
Jeez.
If you want rune crossbow bolts.
Yeah, that's a little much.
And then you don't do, I'm really thinking of amethyst darts, I guess, which are 90.
Yeah.
And you need the mining to get the amethyst. So I don't really want those shaken up. If you want to give people like 5 levels lower or something, that's cool, but I don't want these to be like you just get them and put feathers as long as you have, like, I'm sure they'll add a level requirement that's high enough, but if it's like 70 and it used to be 90, I would have a problem with that.
Yeah,
so,
I see what you're saying.
I also think people who, if you're an Iron Man and somehow you've gotten to the point where you're farming raids 4 so much that you get these crossbows, I feel like you probably have the levels. I'm not too concerned either. So I don't think this is like even worth.
Or if you get it early, then it should be one of those things where like, okay, I should go grind out this fletching level so I can use this thing.
Yeah.
Something like that. And it's not like fletching is that prohibitive with veil totems and stuff right now.
Yeah.
So
I think this is good. I like just having a better blowpipe. I don't think it invalidates anything. I think you'll just bring it in addition to all the other stuff, and I think it's a W. As long as the calcs check out and it's not busted, that's all I ask.
Yep. Okay. All right, let's move on to the last weapon, the Mega Rare. And this, we were kind of expecting it. They've kind of been hinting at it, but they did actually release the blog for an end-game Crush Mega Rare weapon. First off, this thing looks so sick. It's called the Tizhar Ket Breaker, which I don't know about the name, but
I heard a cool No Monkey. You heard his explanation of the name?
No.
I don't know. I know No Monkey said something And then I listened to Mod Ed, the guy who writes the narrative director of the game. He was on the Sebe cast. Highly recommend. He talked all about Raids 4 and the setting behind it and what he's thinking. And honestly, Sebe didn't get to talk much because Mod Ed, he loves to yap. Like, he'll go 8 minutes just yapping, which is awesome because you just want to hear everything he says. Anyways, the Tazar in RuneScape 3 worship a god who like created the world. So they're thinking maybe, or they created Gielinor with the formation of the rocks and stuff. So I think No Monkey was saying maybe the Tazar Ket thing is actually a hint that the Tazar, their god, will kind of be brought into the story. And I don't know if that's a stretch. I think it is. But I think it was really weird for them to name this for the Guthix archive, which is under... Oh, it's deep? I mean, it's deep in Mistlin, and Karamja's right next to Mistlin, right? So...
yeah, I guess so. It'll be interesting to see if they can how they tie the lore together with that. I just think that with the breaker part, I think they should use like the Tazar word for breaker, whatever it is, because it's like Tazar Ket English breaker. Anyways,
it is weird.
Yeah. So this weapon, it's got two. Okay, first off, this thing is so busted. But it's got two different kind of attack styles. I'll talk about the first one, which is Smash, and this is a 3-tick attack. So basically, it's just a hard-hitting, fast attacking weapon with normal standard behavior. And then it also has Thrust, which is the crazy one. This is a 5-tick attack speed, so same as all the other mega rares, and it grants a piercing effect with increased damage. And so it can either do one of two things. It can damage several targets in a line. So like if they're small, then it can hit like 3 targets straight in a line, lined up if they're like 1 by 1. Or NPC size, it will scale off of NPC size, like increasing from 100% damage for a 1 by 1 NPC all the way up to 150% damage for a 3 by 3 or greater NPC. And so it has increasing damage scaling. The other thing that it has on it is kind of a passive effect, is that it will roll damage up to 7 times, depending on how many opponents of the opponent's defenses are higher than their crush defense. So basically, if their crush defense is their lowest defense attack, like stab, slash, magic, and the 3 range defenses, well, I guess 4 range defenses, if they are higher than the crush defense, it will roll your damage check 7 times, which is just crazy, which means the average hit of this thing goes from, like, instead of being halfway between your 0 and your max hit, the average for this thing is like way closer to your max hit, because it will roll 7 times and it'll take the highest number that you rolled, and that will be the actual hit that you do. So you'll be hitting like way more 50s, way more like really high numbers. There's a really high chance that you're going to be hitting 40s or 50s plus on every single hit with this thing. I think that this is so sick. It's going to be so busted. It is so strong, but I love this thing. I cannot wait to try it everywhere. We'll get into the numbers and stuff in just a second. But first off, Hoyt, what are your initial impressions of this thing?
I think it's cool. I actually misinterpreted it at first when it said the 3 tile thing. I wasn't thinking 3 by 3. I was thinking if I stand 2 tiles away from the Ohm hand, I do more damage, like a Hasta.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And I thought that was cool because I think movement, and it's one thing to red X on an enemy. It's another to path 2 tiles away from it.
To run away.
And I think it's cool it's like a different, it's just another layer of thinking. So I was kind of hoping for that. And dropping that once I realized what it is, I think it's awesome. I think all the problems come with balancing, where it fits in. And yeah, I overall just feel kind of, I don't know what the word is. I'm like, I really like it. I don't know what I was expecting from Jagex, but I just feel like underwhelmed, but that's like the smart thing to do. And I know it's busted. I don't know. There's like some magic I thought I was going to feel when I saw these rewards, and it like wasn't really there because they have to be so smart and calculated.
Really?
It's not like a next video game expansion where you just don't know what's coming. Oh my God, it's crazy. It's like, this is a very delicate ecosystem. We think based on what everyone would like. Here's a very calculated, perfect, idea. What do you think? It's just a little different for this game, which is fine.
Yeah.
But overall, the concept, awesome. I like that it's really 2 weapons in one.
Yep.
I was asking for a 3-tick. So thumbs up.
Okay. I feel like this is the one weapon that I do feel that with. Like, this is the one that gets me going, man. Like, I am super... This one feels... Okay, when the Shadow came out, we're like, holy crap, that is busted. That's going to be used everywhere. This one feels very similar to me, and I freaking love it. It feels like a mega rare. It feels like just something insane. Do I think it's a little overtuned? Nah, I'm fine with it. Everyone else is like, well, this is way too busted. No, I think this is super sick. I think this fits right where a mega rare should be. I guess just to tell you guys how busted this is from Kirby's video, a couple increases. So using this with full Inquisitors, you're going to get from current max gear increase, you're going to get at Nightmare, you're going to get about a 40% DPS increase at Nightmare and Fasani's. Olm melee hand in a CM, 20% increase from current max. Even in Tob, you're going to be getting like 10% increase on Verzik P3. That's if you're using Inquisitor, I guess. 17% increase on Bloat, 17% increase on Sodaseg, and at Nex with full max melee and the Fang, instead of using this, you'll be getting like a 31% increase. So just absolute crazy numbers across the board. Where the boss is weak to crush, you're just going to be doing insane amounts of damage. I think this is super cool. Yeah, it does like displace the Scythe in some places, but I think that the Scythe was only there because it was the best option that we had. It didn't really feel like a mega rare for the crush places that it was good at. That's what I think. So I think it's going to be super sick.
What's your ideal synergy with the Scythe and this weapon? Like, should they be 50-50 on which bosses use what? Should the new mega rare be better than the Scythe in a lot of areas? Like, I don't know, if you were in JMod, what would you advise the team? Because I think that's the golden question. Some people say it should never be better than the Scythe. Scythe needs to, but I don't know, not many people are saying that. It's just when it comes to like Tob, I think currently this would be better at every boss except Verzik, from what I heard. And most people agree that's a problem because you get the Scythe at Tob. It should be best at Tob. It's just a thing. So then maybe they add a little Toa multiplier like they do with the Shadow, where, the Scythe, and then everyone hates that. But yeah, I'll let you answer the question. But what would be your ideal relationship between these two?
Well, so here's the thing. I'll at Tob, it's not actually going to be best at like most rooms, because when monsters are at 0 defense, then this thing, it sucks. Basically, the numbers, if Maiden is at 0 defense and you're using this weapon, it's just about as good as like Giga Max melee with a Dragon Sim. Like that's about the same DPS that it is. So I think where it should fit with the Scythe is like low defense monsters, 0 defense monsters. Scythe should beat it all day long. Like Tob, you like use your specs to get everything down 0 defense. I think Scythe should still beat that all day long. Like even at Ulm in CMs, like you're lowering the defense so much that Scythe gets a lot closer to it. So I think that's where they should draw the balance. Is monsters that are weak to crush, this thing should be absolutely insane. Monsters that have like 0 defense or really low defense or really high crush bonus, I think that's where the Scythe should be really good. So I think that they should act very similarly, but for kind of 2 different groups of bosses. That's how I would kind of balance these two. I also think the only thing with people saying that it's like too powerful, the thing that I would maybe change on this is, I don't know how much this would affect the numbers, but I do feel like it's a little bit weird that range gets rolled 3 times for light range, standard range, and heavy range. I feel like ranged defense should just get rolled 1 time. Like,
I think the whole range defense is weird because they've done nothing with it but ballista. That I know of.
So
I think that's odd.
I think that could be maybe one slight nerf change adjustment to it, whatever, maybe just to make it a little bit more in line with where it's supposed to be. But overall, I mean, this is like Maiden, you're still going to use Scythe. Nylo, you're still going to use Scythe. Zarpus, you're still going to use Scythe. Verzik P2, you're still going to use Scythe. You're still going to use Scythe P3 if you're a Torva. Like, it doesn't really overtake it in a lot of places. You'll bring it as a switch for Bloat and Sotoseg. But other than that, like, I don't know how they could make a Mega Rare without, like a Melee Crush Mega Rare without stepping on the Scythe's toes. And I feel like this is probably the best way that they could do it, is just like where this is good. This is going to be giga good.
Yeah.
And the Scythe is still going to have its place. It's going to drop a little bit, but the Scythe is still a Mega Rare. It's still insane at 0 defense monsters, which maybe they'll... I don't know. They've kind of been going away from like the defense lowering meta, but that's still always kind of been around. So anyways, I'm excited for a new Mega Rare. I'm excited to use this and have it. And I'm also glad that I waited to get the Fasani's Nightmare Pet, because I'm going to start doing it with this now. So yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah, I think we covered it well. I think it's a W. I think it just comes down to the calcs, and they need to be very careful, and they know that. So rely on the community's input on where they think it should be good and how good.
Yeah. I have to imagine that they did some of the calculations before they released this. Like, they knew how strong it was going to be when they actually brought this out. So I have to imagine that it's sitting kind of where they want it, even though a lot of the feedback has said, oh, it's way too strong. Like, it's got to get like nerfed a little bit. Like, there's got to be some type of power creep or some type of something coming from the Mega Rare at the new raid. And I don't think that there's going to be any way to do it without taking up the design space or the reward space of another Mega Rare, because we're already so, like, all of our bases are so covered. We've already like horizontally progressed so much that all the spaces are filled in. So yeah, if it steps on something else's toes, so be it.
Yeah, same with the armor set. They're just out of space, and something's gonna have to go. But
that's why they're having such
good stuff.
I think that's why there's having such design issues, or have been in the past, is that we're just so saturated with gear, and we've horizontally progressed to every little niche thing now, that the only way to go is up. So yeah, am I going to feel bad about using this? Like, not at all. When this thing is in my character's hands and I'm just like slapping 50s left and right, dude, it's just going to feel so good, so fun. People love killing bosses faster. Who cares if it's stronger? Like,
yeah, I just want... You know, I think it's interesting. This doesn't have any charges or anything, does it? Like, compared to the Scythe?
It will be charged. Yes.
Is it charged?
It will be charged. So. They said that they're... it's going to be some sort of resource. They haven't decided what yet, with ancient shards. But you'll be able to get it from... Like, you'll get the resource from the raid.
Okay.
I feel like...
Ascendant shards?
Yeah, sorry.
Or the
Ascension shards.
Thinking, like,
I said ancient shards. I meant Ascension shards.
Perfect.
Yeah, what do you think about charging this with Toggle? Since this is hard.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's fine.
I give it good. Sell your
I
chaos
don't
runes.
really like charge stuff, but I understand why it has to.
It has
exist.
to be.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, I think just listen to the community, and yeah, I'm sure they did their own calcs, but there's only so much like a team of 5 guys can think of versus even if they're professionals, and versus a collective community of thousands of hobbyists who are salivating at the chance to see if where this is good or bad. They're historically known for being very bad at calcs, and
I don't think this will be the last that we hear from them.
When they're good at calcs, we don't notice, so I'm gonna give them that benefit. We only notice when they get stuff wrong. Otherwise, we just assume it to be normal. So excited to see what all of these turn out of. Your favorite, I think it's safe to say that the Breaker's your favorite out of everything.
Breaker's my favorite, man. It just sounds so sick. Yeah, what's yours?
I'll take the dual crossbows. I think they're
and they're just gonna look so sick. Just dual wield shooting.
That animation's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Did they have a special attack? I don't think I remember one.
I don't think they do.
No spec.
Oh, wait. Nope.
They gotta keep the ZCB.
So no healing from your blowpipe. Dual wield.
Well, all right. No time for chess room, sadly. It's like almost midnight. I'm tired.
Yeah,
let's do clan achievements.
Yeah.
You want me to rip through them?
Yeah, let's rip through some clan achievements, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right. So, big friend of the pod, AF Carl, got his 250th 500 TOA kit.
That's so cool.
All solos. And he made a great YouTube video. Check it out for the journey.
Yeah.
It's AF Carl, all one word. That was his goal. He wanted to do 250 solo 500 TOAs.
Which
he just finished it.
250 because that maxes out the collection log slots for that item.
Yeah.
So now even if he gets another Fang kit, it'll always be at 250, which is so sick. No.
He got here. His log has 3 shadows, 3 pets. Last I saw, so at least his efforts were somewhat rewarded.
Nice.
So good for him. Not that he needed more money, but
well,
big GZ
deserved.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
Clay got his Radiant Oath plate. Big GZ.
Sweet.
It's awesome. Sibling got their first ever third age, the plate skirt.
Nice. Another third age.
The third age returns.
Let's go.
Maybe next week. We'll see more. Number Go Up got his stale baguette, which is basically third age. Fun fact, rank 1 clog Basiligus doesn't have a stale baguette.
Yeah, he still doesn't.
Crazy. Thunder got his nightmare pet.
I think we shouted that one out already.
Did we?
I think we might.
Maybe. I think it happened during the pod, or I don't know, right before.
Yeah.
Suboptia went on a tear, got his Hydra's Claw, and then Zamorak Godsword on the iron. I like the ZGS because you don't want to go there for it. You want to get it on accident, trying to get a spear.
You want to get it on the way.
That's what happened.
That's the best case scenario.
Same with a lot of other drops. I hope I get, something because I don't want to. It'd be nice to get Spoon 2 enhanced so that people don't ask you why you went back to CG after you got one.
Yeah.
All right. Hasbullah got his eye on the group Iron Man. Big GZ.
Nice.
And all your homies gonna be asking you to put that one in storage.
That's right.
It's gonna be fun.
You'll never see it again if you do that.
Be texting your phone. Oh, that'd be so annoying. That group.
Still haven't ever held their shadow. It just disappears. So.
Oh my god. Scythe of got his Brutus pet. I think we might have shut that one out. I don't know. Trix got Dragon Claws on the group Iron.
Nice.
And
oh wait, I feel like I should take this one.
Yeah.
Public apology to Ryuka-san. I knew you were main. I was just I was in the mood. I was just feeling. Yeah. So he is not. He's not an iron. He's not a dirty iron. He's a main.
He's not good enough to be one, right, Poplo?
An iron? No, he's a Giga Chad gamer main. So yeah.
Aw. We haven't converted Poplo yet.
No.
Yeah, that wraps it up for the clan achievements. Join us as a guest, RaidzBank, all one word with a Z in the middle. And big shout out to all of our Patreon members. You guys keep the show running. And a special shout out to our endgame members. We we got a new member to the end game, Julia W.
All
left
right.
us a nice message. Said she doesn't even play the game much, but we are her favorite podcast. And I want to let you know we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, Julia.
Luke also joined the mid-game tier and left us a nice message. Thank you. And then big shout out to our OG in-game members, Forget It, Showman, Trolley D, Bucha, Afru Brews, and Hurdy. We appreciate you all.
Thank you guys so much.
So that wraps it up. Today is a beefy one. We hope you guys enjoyed. And we will see you next week where I'll fill you in on Chicago.
All right.
So I'm excited. I made a t-shirt.
Let's go.
A homemade, the iron-on with the RaidzBank podcast. It says Hoyt on the back.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't do a QR code though. I was going to do a QR code. I didn't do it.
That is awesome. We'll be looking for you on the Twitch stream.
Yep. So maybe you'll see me. All right. Have a good night or good day, good morning, good afternoon. Appreciate you guys. See ya.
See ya.